And welcome back everybody to Zach's Garage. If you missed out on the last episode, I'll post a link to it up here above. But what we're going to be doing in today's episode is building the seat boxes here in the front of the boat, and then we're going to fiberglass them in. So don't go anywhere. Let's go ahead and get right into it. Okay, next piece I'm going to work on for the inside of the boat is cutting out the boxes for the seat up here in the bow. And you can see where the lines of the old pieces of wood were. So I'm pretty much going to follow those. So I'm going to start with the piece that'll go from here attaching to this support piece. So I ended up being able to get most of the pieces cut out here in the front. You can see I've got the side to side there, and then what goes forward. I will say it is kind of weird where these pieces meet together. There's going to be a little gap here, so I'm going to need to build another piece for that. The only thing I need to cut out now, just a little triangle piece there, and then a little center piece right there, and another triangle on that side. So I'm gonna go ahead and get those done. Mother of God! I just hit my head straight onto this stupid frickin' thing. What I was saying though, I've got everything out of the boat. I just need to clean up the mess, and then we'll be, after we get that stuff glued down in the front, then we're gonna be ready to go to paint the deck. All we have left to cut out is the triangles that go here on that side, and then the center piece right there. So let's go ahead and get to it. Okay, we've got all of the pieces cut out now. As you can see, they're in place. So what I'm gonna go ahead before I glue them down is I'm gonna take all of them out and coat them with a coat of resin, so that way they'll already be waterproofed before I put them in. Because unlike the deck, I'm not going to completely cover these with fiberglass, but I am going to at least cover them with resin. And then they're going to be painted with a gel coat paint, which is also technically resin, so it'll really be like double resin layers. So I'm going to take these out now, get them coated, and then we'll glue them back in after that. Well, we got these pieces coated in resin, and now we're just letting them dry. So it turned out pretty good. Took me about 15 minutes, and I did all of them in one fell swoop. Alright, we got the pieces glued in. Now we are just letting them dry. Whew, it took about 2 hours to get that done. My goodness, nearly wore me out. We are so close to painting this deck. What I'm gonna do real quick is cut out the pieces. Well, really it's the caps I'm cutting out for the seat boxes right here. Then I'm going to glue those down, and then we will finally paint this deck. Okay, we got that first piece put in here. I know you can't see it because it's underneath this front seat. And as you can see, I have that seat in as well. I got them in trash bags because they're just crumbling, so I don't want to get everything dirty in here. And I also got that back piece put into place. So I'm really getting a feel for how this is going to look like in here. And what I wanted to do now is I was trying to figure out where the seat cushions meet, which is right here on this seam, so that way I know where I should cut the opening for storage underneath the seat. Because this, as you can see here, the board actually runs to the corner there that I have, so the seat opening will be cut further in from this curved edge. But it's kind of cool. We got, you know, the seats in here, starting to get a feel for having an actual boat again. But yeah, so getting that figured out now. Then I'm gonna cut out the hole for that, then we'll put it back in, and then I'll do the other side, and then we'll glue them both down. Alright, I've got my hole outlined now, as you can see. And I was just testing to make sure it's going to be big enough to get that life jacket in and out, and I think there will be just enough space to do that. Now some of y'all might be wondering, man, those curves are perfect. How did you do that? Quick little tip. After you draw your line going that way and your line going that way, take something perfectly round, like a roll of tape here, and then you just connect the lines and then trace the outside of that. Gives you real nice curves. And with the jigsaw, you're able to trace those out when you're cutting almost perfectly. So that should turn out pretty darn good. So let's go ahead and cut her out. So before we get these pieces glued down, what I am going to go ahead and do is take them out, and then I'm going to do some sanding around the edges and stuff. And then I'm also going to be doing some of the fiberglassing on all these pieces. Now that we've got those fiberglass pieces glued into the corners here, it is time to go ahead and paint. And I went ahead and set up a little plastic cover here just so I don't get any of the paint on some of the parts here, like the gray part down there. Also went ahead and taped up over the front little mounting bolt for underneath there. So we are pretty much ready to paint. One other thing I'm gonna do, since it really won't be a big batch of paint for just painting these right here, so I'm gonna go ahead and paint the bottoms of these pieces as well, so those will kind of be waterproofed from that going into it. So let's go ahead and get into it. Well, we let everything finish drying overnight, so now it is time to go ahead and mix up some peanut butter and then get these pieces glued into position. Now we've got everything glued down and we let it dry again overnight. And you can see I already went ahead and I cut out some more pieces of fiberglass to tab it into the hole around the edges. And then there's a few more pieces I'm going to tab it down to the deck as well for all of that through there. And then here too. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to try to do all of those little fiberglass pieces all at once now. So let's go ahead and get to it. And after we got those fiberglass pieces glued down on top, we had another set of fiberglass pieces to glue in at the bottoms of the seat boxes as well as the bottoms of the dash supports to get it tied into the hull of the boat and the deck. Okay, we have let the resin finish drying on all of those fiberglass pieces. Let me tell you, it took quite some time to get them all in, because the devil is in the details. But we got it all done. So now that is finished. But that is where we are going to end today's episode. We finished getting those seat boxes built in the front of the boat and got them fiberglassed in. Now that that's finished, we are finally ready to paint the boat. So stay tuned, make sure your post notifications are on, because that is what we are doing in the next video. But that is where we are going to end today. I want to give a huge thank you to 218 subscribers. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.